Hello my dear students, how are you? This is Bissha Nath Roy. I have come once again in this platform. In the previous class I discussed the usage of some special words, and today I will focus on the usage of the rest of the special words. So my dear students, let's start. Our first slide is about the use of there. Here you find the structure. There plus verb plus subject plus extension. The verbs used in this structure are be verb, exist, seem, happen, remain, come, go, etc. This structure is used to show that something exists or happens. Here you find a few examples. There are two people waiting outside. There seemed to be no doubt about it. There remains the problem of finance. There's a restaurant around the corner. My dear students, in this structure, though the subject comes after the verb, still the subject modifies the verb. In the first example, subject is two people, that is plural number, and the plural verb are has been used. In the third example, the problem of finance, subject is third person singular number and the singular verb has been used. And in the last example, there's a restaurant, third person singular number and singular verb has been used here. And this slide is about the use of in case. Students often confuse in case with if, but actually in case and if are totally different. In case is followed by a present or past tense or by should, and here in the examples we find that after in case present tense, here after in case present or should, and here after in case present tense, and in the last sentence after in case past tense has been used, that is present, past and should are possible after in case. An in case clause gives a probable reason for the action in the main clause, and an in case clause is normally placed after the main clause, not before it. If clause can be used both before and after the main clause, but in case clause is always used after the main clause. And an in case clause gives the probable reason. Let's see the first example. I will take an umbrella in case it rains. So I will take an umbrella because it may rain. That is, this is the probable reason, and for this reason I will take an umbrella. I carry a spare wheel in case I have or I should have a puncture. This means I carry a spare wheel because I may have a puncture. I always keep candles in the house in case there is a power cut. I always keep candles in the house because there may be a power cut, and this is the probable reason for keeping candle in the house. I always kept candles in the house in case there was a power cut, and here both the clauses in past tense. So this means I always kept candles in the house because there might be a power cut. This slide is about the use of so what. So what is used in response to a criticism, and it is used to mean it is not important and I don't care. Here you find 3 examples. So what if I am 35 and I am not married? Actually this is the response to a criticism. Someone may criticize saying that you are 35 and is still not married, and in response to that criticism, this is the response. So what if I am 35 and I am not married? Our next example, Andrew won't like it, you know, and the response is so what, I don't care what Andrew thinks. He is 15 years younger than you. This is the criticism, and the response is so what. That is, someone may criticize saying that he is 15 years younger than you and this will not be a good match, and the response is so what. That is, I don't care. This slide is about the use of be born. Be born is used only in the passive and without by. Here you find 3 examples. I was born in 1976. He was born in a small village. She was born with a weak heart. Be born is also used to mean born into something. And here you find an example. She was born into a very musical family. It is also used to mean born of or to somebody. And here you find the example. He was born of or to German parents. Be born plus adjective, another structure we get here. And the example is her brother was born blind. This means her brother was blind when he was born. And be born plus noun, another structure, and the example is John Wayne was born Marion Michael Morrison. This means when he was born his name was Marion Michael Morrison. That is, this name was his name at birth. My dear students, this slide is about the uses of have to, has to and had to. Have to and has to are used in present tense and had to is used in past tense. They are used to show that you must do something. That is, they show obligation. Here you find 3 examples. You have to stay home. This means you must stay home. Our next example, we have to wear mask. This means we must wear mask. One thing you should know, that when they are used in negative sentence, we do not find obligation. In the third example, don't have to can be replaced by need not. Let's read the third example. They don't have to pay the installment of this month. In this sentence, we do not find obligation, and here don't have to can be replaced by need not, and so the sentence means they need not pay the installment of this month. In this slide we find the usage of would you mind. Here you find the structure would you mind plus gerund plus extension, and this is structure of interrogative sentence actually is used to make a request. Here we find two examples. Would you mind moving your car? Though the sentence is in interrogative form, actually this is not used to make a question, rather it's a request. Same is the case with the next sentence. Would you mind giving me a lift? It's a request. In this slide we find the uses of even if or even though. This means despite the fact or believe that. Here we find two examples. I will get there even if I have to work. This means I will get there despite the fact that I have to work. Next example, I like her even though she can be annoying at times. This means I like her despite the fact that she can be annoying at times. In this slide we find the usage of as it were. It is used in spoken English to emphasize that something is not exactly as it is being described. Here we find an example. I practically work at home as it were. The office is within walking distance of my house. Here this means it seems that I work at home. The office is within walking distance of my house. Actually I don't work at home, as the office is within the walking distance of my house. It seems that I work at home, but the fact is not so. In this slide we find the usage of no sooner had. Here you find the structure no sooner plus first clause, which will be in past perfect tense, and then next clause, which will be in past indefinite tense. So no sooner plus past perfect plus then plus past indefinite. And this structure is used to emphasize that there is a very little gap between the time of two actions. Here we find a structure. No sooner had he pressed the switch than the machine started. This means as soon as he pressed the switch, the machine started. In this slide we find the usage of cannot or could not but, cannot or could not help. Here you find two structures. First structure is subject plus cannot or could not but plus base form of verb or bare imperative. And the next structure is subject plus cannot or could not help plus ing form of verb or gerund. These structures are used to say that it is impossible to prevent or avoid something. Here we find two examples. He could not but take the risk. This means he could not avoid taking the risk. We cannot help staying home. This means we cannot avoid staying home. This is our last slide, and in this slide we find some other special words. There, it is high time, as if or as though, if, unless, and lest. My dear students, in my previous lectures, while discussing the rules of using verbs, I discussed the uses of these special words. And if you cannot remember the uses of these special words, please follow my previous lectures on the rules of using verbs. My dear students, that's all today. In the next class, I will discuss a new topic. Thank you. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe.